Ninox.
Oh, hi there, everyone, and thanks for joining the release webinar call. I think everybody is always curious for this call, so me too. I'm very looking forward, and welcome, Frank, for today's release webinar. Very happy to have you here. And as always in these webinars, we are starting with waiting the first minute until everybody joined the room. So Zoom is here very near to the reality, and it takes some time until everybody's in. But at one pass, then we will start. And as you know, there are the icon picker, the color picker, and I think for today we also brought some surprise, which nobody has on his roadmap. So yeah, looking forward to it. And so it's 1 minute after, and let's kick it off, Frank. And within this, over to you for the news from release perspective.
Thank you very much, Tim. Thanks for having me. It's great to meet everyone here in the release webinar. So as usual, we start with a quick overview, just sharing my screen to see what's in the box. So Tim just confirmed that we can see the slides right now. Perfect. Okay.
Yes.
So this is release 3.12, our spring release of Ninox. And Tim already mentioned almost everything that's in the box here. So just to give you a quick overview, we took care about colors. So picking colors will be a lot easier. We added new icons to Ninox. We have a new feature, which I'm quite excited about. It's about generating Excel files from Ninox. And of course, we will give a short demo of all the features, and also we'll have a short outlook on what's coming down the road for summer of this year. And finally, there will be also the opportunity to ask a couple of questions. So if anything comes to your mind, just take a quick note and put it to the Q&A, and we will try to answer everything you want to know. So yeah, starting with colors. So release 3.12 brings a whole new color picker that's integrated in any place where you can actually pick colors in Ninox. It's mainly about convenience, so you will be able to copy and paste color values. You will be able to use all the typical notations of colors, like color names or color values in hexadecimal format or using AGB syntax. And of course, you will be also able to directly access the system color picker, which gives additional options. Then the second big topic is about icons. So what we did is we took a look at our old icon set and saw that it was quite limited in terms of the options we provided. Also, the icon style was a little bit dated. So we completely overhauled that system and provide you access to a huge range of icons from now on, more than 1,000 icons in our icon system. And not only can you select from all those icons, but you're also able to adjust the weight of the icon, the color or the fill style. So a lot of options now available for creating new applications. And then finally, we will take a look at how we can generate Excel files from within Ninox script. I think we'll take a huge part of this demo to show all the options and possibilities. I think everybody knows that Ninox has a standard Excel export as one of the core features right from the beginning, I think. But this is quite inflexible in terms of what you can achieve. And if you really want to have full control, you can now use our scripting language to generate Excel files. So after this quick overview, I think it's now time to actually look into the new release. And I'll just switch over to my web browser. So first of all, just as a reminder, I think everybody knows at the moment how you can select colors within Ninox. Here's an example. So we had this standard set of colors. We also have an advanced set of colors. and you can enter color values, but this is really cumbersome and not easy to use. So we actually wanted to simplify this a lot, and just to display the same option here now in the new release 3.12. So here I can pick the color. You see it's a much more simple dialog, but the great thing is now you can just enter your color values, for example, from your CI system, copy it from any place, paste it here into this box. And you also have access here now to the color picker, in this case from my operating system. And this gives me options, for example, to choose a color here with this little color needle. So I can pick from anywhere I would like to get color and directly apply it to my database. So this is about the new color picker. And the second big topic is remember the current icon system. I just used this template database here from our template library. So we have a small recruiting template here, which gives options to recruit new people for your team. You see here those colorful icons, which we deemed are no longer up to the mark in terms of how they match our overall design system, and also the options for picking items are quite limited. Just take a look at what we have here in the current release. When I go to edit fields, for example, I can select in a very not so organized way icons I want to use. So with the release 3.12, we bring a whole new icon system, and all your icons will be immediately and automatically mapped to the new icon system. You see now this is the very same database, and the icons on the left side are now monochromous icons with selected colors. Our design team did a quite intensive job to map everything from the old world to the new world, but you might not be immediately happy with the results. So let's simply go to this database settings and pick or change the icons colors. So now you see the new icon picker. First of all, it gives me this huge range of icons, and I can search actually by meaningful names. For example, dashboard, I get a range of dashboard icons. Let's pick this one. And I can, of course, adjust the color. I can either take one of the default colors or choose my own design system compatible color. I can also remove the color, which just turns this immediately to white. So don't be surprised if you open your new database after release 3.12 and the icons are a little bit different. It's very easy to adjust them to whatever you would like to have. And I think we are offering here a very huge range of viable icons and a lot of customization options. For example, just to maybe play a little bit with it, you can adjust from a filled to outline style. You can, when you go to outline, for example, change the weight of the lines if you want to have a little bit more lightweight experience, or if you want to have a really strong experience. Everything is customizable now. And of course, you can pick any color you would like to have for the icons. Okay, let's maybe remove this color, also set it to white, apply, save, and there we go. And of course, those icons are in any place now. For example, when I go to my choice field settings, in this case, I have a little status icon, can do the very same thing and set it to default color, save changes, and it should automatically adjust. It does not. I think because I removed the color, change it maybe to white. And save the changes. And this is the demo effect. I think normally it should work. I think it does actually work. Change to the wrong color here. So now let's see the effect. There we go. So now we have a white on black icon, for example. So those are the new styling options we provide. Just to say a word about this, this is really the beginning of a journey. So we want to improve styling options a lot with the upcoming releases, and also give more options to customize Ninox and match it really to your CI requirements. And now we finally take a look at the new Excel file creation option or scripting function. So first, again, as a reminder, Ninox always had this option to export data in different formats. For example, we can export as Excel, and you will see you get a nicely formatted Excel file based on your current view configuration. However, this is not very flexible. Yeah, so as you have seen in the dialog, we don't provide options. Oops, sorry. We don't provide options, for example, to define the style, or to add custom formatting, or to have more precise control over what's actually going to the Excel file. So let's consider the use case that we want to generate a monthly report of all our applicants in the pipeline. I would just use this dashboard view here and add a new tab to this dashboard. And first of all, I would like to have a possibility to store the report. So let's just add a new field, an image field. Let's call it report. Image fields can contain any type of binary data, so an Excel file will be just as good. And now I would like to create a button that generates that report. So I will call this generate applicants report. So we have a nice name here. And the next step will be to write a script that actually generates an Excel file. Let me just go back to my PowerPoint and copy this example here so that we can have something to get started with. So I will explain the structure in a second. So first of all, in order to generate an Excel sheet, we need to collect all the data that we want to incorporate into that Excel sheet. And then the next step is just to use this function, create XLSX. We provide the current record, we provide the data we want to put into this Excel sheet, and we provide a file name. And finally, because I want to associate this file with my new field, I would just use the assignment report equals create XLSX. So let's give it a try and save the changes. And there we go. You already see something has happened. So some file has been created. And there we go. So this is a very blunt, very simple Excel file with 2 columns and all static data, which represents actually what I have written here. So I defined one sheet, and this sheet has a range of columns. So I defined 2 columns, one for the name, one for the address. And then I defined a set of rows, and each row has a name and an address. And you see this property here, the key. So everything we define as a key here in the header or in the column definition can be referenced then in the row definition. Yeah. So whenever I add a new row and I put a property name, it will be matched to this column with the key name. So that's the whole logic. And now, of course, we don't want to put here static data, but we actually want to get data from our applicants. So how can we do this? We first of all start with a select. and I think my table is called applicants. So I can get all the applicants. Of course, I could provide some filter options here and so on, but I will just go ahead with all the applicants. And then I will use the dot notation to actually transform each applicant into something that our Excel sheet can understand. And remember, I have to provide two properties here, name and address. So let me provide name. I will just use this dot, I think it's first name, and maybe the space in between. And I will add this dot last name. Okay, there we go. And of course, I need to provide also my address. So let me pick this dot. We have an address field on the applicant data. Let's take a look. See what we have in the applicants here. So we have a street. Okay, street, zip code, state. I think that's great. Then let's just add new data. This dot street. And just let's add more columns here. Um, zip, zip, and state, state. And we transform it here with providing exactly the same keys. This dot zip code and state. This dot state. Okay, there we go. So this should now create an Excel sheet with 4 columns and a row for each applicant with those properties. We can also add a little bit of formatting options here. For example, the default width might be a little bit too small. So let's just put 40 for everything, maybe not for the zip. And there we go. Let's see if this is going to work. So I generate my applicants, download the file, and that's it. Yeah, so we created now an Excel sheet, sheet 1, with 4 columns and a row for each applicant. So this is pretty simple. And now we can play around a little bit with the formatting options. For example, we have a property called, whoops, header style, which I can use to add additional styling options. For example, the font should be bold or true. Let's see if this works. It does not. This is certainly because I did something wrong. And let's just copy here this example, use it in the script. Save. And now fingers crossed. Yes, the font is bold. There are much more styling options. Maybe let's just see the documentation. What else do we have? For example, we can change the font family. So some engineer decided here to provide Comic Sans as the ruling example, and I see already the thumbs up. And let's just copy this to all the columns. Save. And see the result. there we go. So really nice Comic Sans font straight out of the 90s with bold formatting. Of course, you can also define the cell style. Yeah, so let's, for example, use this here. Oops, there we go. To adjust the cell style. Oops. Save. And see what happens now. And you see the first column has been actually styled in this reddish color. Okay, cool. So there are many, many more options actually. You can embed hyperlinks into your Excel sheet. You can actually even write Excel formulas so that automatic calculation happens in your sheet. I think the options are almost limitless. You can create multiple worksheets. So this is a really, really cool feature for power users to have very tight control over generated Excel files. I think we can only imagine the amount of use cases, but I think there will be a lot of opportunities to use this feature. So this was the demonstration, and I see a lot of thumbs up. Thanks very much. And thanks also to the engineering team who worked hard on this to get it into the scope of 3.12. This was the overview of 3.12 features. It's a smaller release. It's the first release on our, oops, on our new release cycle. I think we announced this last year already that we are now on a quarterly release cycle. So you can actually expect every quarter, like 1 month, about 1 month after the end of the quarter, a new release of Ninox. And the next release will be, of course, then 3.13, the summer release. And just to give a quick outlook on what's actually upcoming. So we put a lot of focus on design and overall navigation. So the navigation within your application will be improved, but also the customization and design options will be enriched. We are rolling out along that project the new component system. You have seen the new color picker, the new icon picker, all that are already first signs of a new component systems, which greatly enhances the experience of Ninox. We will focus on rich text. The current rich text field has a lot to be desired for, and we finally took the step to make great improvements to the rich text field. And we also are taking care about modularity. So everybody who's already using modularity on the enterprise plan will benefit from enhanced modularity options and especially updatability of modules. So this was already it from the presentation. And Tim, are there any questions in the chat or in the Q&A section?
Yes, there are some questions, and I think to start with a more technical one, does the XLSX creation work in server context?
Yes, it will.
Perfect. Then the question regarding templates. I think you already mentioned it a little bit in the outlook for the upcoming quarter. Are there any efforts for templates, for example, that I can globally define templates for buttons and other design elements?
Yeah, so I can only talk a bit about that because it's still in development, but definitely there will be something we call global styles, and you will have the option to apply more styling options to your function fields, to your buttons, and so forth. And you will be also able to reuse those styles across your application.
Perfect. So in addition to that, we are also having some feature requests in the F&A section, like copying fields, color input fields, change color according to certain conditions. So I think we have a very long list, but we'll kind of like present the next improvements next quarter, so in 3 months. There's also one question regarding the code base, which was used for the XLSX creation. I think also a more technical question.
Yeah, we are actually using a library. I'm not aware of the name of the library at the moment, but we are using a library to generate those files and basically providing most of the options of that library plus some extensions and neatly integrated with our scripting capabilities.
Perfect. Then one ask for the description for the options into the online manual. I think this will be added over the next days due to it was not clear if it fits in this release or in the next one. Could maybe take some time, but we'll add these descriptions also online.
For sure.
And also maybe a feature request question about coding, if there's are any plans for a new console or some improvement in this area.
It's a topic that's well known to us and that definitely has a priority for us.
Perfect. So I don't see any further questions. I think from now on, everybody is very curious to test the new features and functions, especially the color and the icons. I think it's important maybe to mention again the actual icons. Our design team took some efforts to map these icons to the new ones, so all icons will be transitioned. And so maybe on Thursday, the 2nd May, where we plan to release, your icons could look a little bit different, but they are mapped into equal icons. Perfect. Then there's also a question regarding CRM. There we have the webinar on the 14th of May. So there we will present the news from the CRM and also give you then access to it. So due to I'm not seeing any other questions, Frank, thank you very much for joining this webinar and presenting the new features. I'm really looking forward into the next quarter release due to summer will be hot, as you mentioned. And yeah, see you each other. And until next time, thanks a
Thank you
lot
very
for joining.
much. Thanks for having me.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Ninox.